Hi everyone, it's Jordan here from the Off the Bar podcast, a podcast where me, Devon, Chris, and any of our other football loving friends get together to talk about our favourite sport. We're certainly not experts, just a bunch of fans wanting to have a laugh and talk about football. That's it. This is the first one we've made, but we're hoping to do this for a long time to come. So please, if you enjoy the podcast, like, subscribe, comment, anything is going to help us. Subscribe and follow on any of the platforms that you watch or listen to this. Share it with your friends, your dad, or anyone else you might want to. But more importantly, enjoy the podcast.
Hello. Welcome to the inaugural Off the Bar podcast, where we'll be talking about football, believe it or not, given the we'll offer incredibly non-biased, definitely, opinions on and analysis on the recent events of football, as well as playing a few games just to lighten the mood. I have here with me some outside the top six fans.
Right, listen,
Got the pillow on.
I'm not having this. I'm Jordan,
Yes.
obviously a Chelsea fan. I guess right now we're technically outside of the top six, but
Right
we're
now.
still a Big Six team, so it counts.
And one team that's not outside the top six, West Ham.
It's down currently 6 in the league.
Currently sixth. Right, I'm Chris.
I am Devon. I'm a Liverpool fan. Top of the league. What can I say? So I think we're beginning with
Before he's back.
Yes.
talking about the recent fixtures.
Yes,
Is that
so
right?
there were only 5 games this weekend,
Yeah.
as opposed to
Get my notes up.
the standard 10. The first one, which was on Friday night, was Burnley versus Luton, proper relegation scraps.
Scrappy game.
Now, bear in mind that we all, I was going to say we have lives, we don't. We have jobs, you guys have jobs. So we don't always have time to watch fully all of the games, but obviously we've watched highlights and we do our research, you know. So the Burnley versus Luton game was maybe not one of the more interesting ones, but it was the first one, so we might as well start
Yeah,
it.
might as well.
It was, I would say, about as scrappy as expected.
Yeah, very cagey. Very
Yeah.
cagey.
Like,
It was
literally
both-
every time the ball went anywhere, it felt like no one actually knew what they were doing.
The game was so important for both teams to win that the quality starts to go down because they're trying so hard and then you're expressing so much energy that it just sort of was. It was like a cage
Yeah,
match.
I feel like another game that we obviously going to talk about later, the Man City versus Newcastle game. Both teams were very intense. Both teams wanted to win. There was a lot of pushing for it, but because they're both much higher quality teams, that comes through. Even though it still came with mistakes, that comes through in a lot of big quality movement. Whereas I feel like it came off almost as desperate attempts.
Yeah,
They're very championshipy, I believe, which makes sense considering
They are both going to be in the
quality of
championship
both-
next season.
Yes, and the quality of both sides is still very.
We can't as well not talk about the game about the.
Yeah. Another shocking another VAR check.
I feel like when we were watching the highlights of it, you were like shaking your foot. And, like,
Well, I was
just
just
back from saying what. you
Goalkeepers
need to
are always being protected
Yeah.
too much, and this is Sunday League. This is across the board.
Mm.
My keeper, when I was playing fullback, he got touched and went down. The ref would blow it. And if you watch the game, that guy does not move enough towards the goalkeeper.
He
Consider
does
it
back
a
up
foul.
into him though.
It's not a back. He barely steps. You're throwing your body around. It's a contact sport. If that's a defender, it's not a foul because it's a goalkeeper. Company thinks it's a foul.
Well, yeah, but I think it's the way that Company worded it. He's obviously watched this back a lot,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because he words through it like he's fully given a screenplay on this.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he's saying
thought about
what
he
he's saying again.
he stopped. He looks at the goalkeeper. He backs up into him. He looks at the referee. See if he's gotten away with it. Like
didn't see that part.
he's writing a script about it, but. I didn't see any of that happen. I just went back up into it.
I think I did see. I can't remember what play it was. Was it Adebayo and Panzu?
But
Not
it's-
too
it's-
sure, but it
Every
was.
time a goal goes in now, do players not react?
I mean, yeah, but I think he did like a little glance before, and then like as he was glancing, he stepped back into the keeper.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
It's
it's
just-
an intentional thing.
I don't know if there's
The
enough in
player
it,
will
but
know.
also where that happened was not where the ball was landing in the box.
Yeah.
So why was the goalkeeper there
And
anyways?
also, Company was like going like you can see him look up to the ref to see if he's got away with it.
Yeah.
In this modern VAR world, every time a goal goes in, they're checking every
Oh,
official.
yeah,
Like shit,
yeah.
shit.
I guess that isn't.
You know what I
exactly
mean?
in valid
I think
company. It's-
because Vincent Company went on a little rant after the game for a good 5 minutes about how VAR has screwed them over and how there's been loads of problems and how this happens every week, you know, and he referred to previous games like the away game at Bournemouth and stuff like that and Villa where it happened before. And I had quite mixed feelings about the interview because I feel like I don't think that goal should have been ruled out. He did back up into him. I
Yeah.
don't think the goal should have been ruled out.
I agree.
But he is kind of right about the fact that every game comes back to
VAR.
VAR.
Right about it,
Again, that's an empty statement in this modern game. Do you know what I mean? VAR, everyone knows now it's not working because season after season we go, we'll give it another try, keep giving it another try, and then the fans are unhappy, the players are unhappy, the manager.
Yeah, they put too much money into it to take it back now.
But the only people that are happy, even the officials are unhappy. They don't want.
Well, I think that's what company said. He said something about even the referees not understanding the rules, and
The rules are a lot less clear now.
There are a lot less clear. Which, if it's something that's so like important in the game, you got to follow by the rules, and referees are important to the game to allow the game to flow. And if they don't know what they're doing, how are we supposed to
it's like they're being a referee is very different when you're a player to a ref, and I feel like refs are always sort of like rules are first instead of there's human error involved in football. Like there was a foul earlier this season where I think it was Rashford might have stepped on the ball and then rolled over the ball and stood on a player. Human error. If you step on a ball and it rolls over,
Curtis Jones got a red card for that.
What can you do?
It doesn't help though that when VAR is looking at this stuff, it's getting freeze frames, it's getting slow motion.
Exactly.
In slow motion, everything looks like it's more violent. You know.
But then they should know that they're referees.
Yeah.
There's the Premier League referees.
I think that's wasn't like the human error thing that you just brought up. I think that was the whole reason for VAR in my mind, why it is brought in to sort of rectify, especially referees like messing up the decisions, the important decisions.
I think we could talk for an entire podcast about how terrible VAR is.
It seems like we're passionate about
it. And we're going to have this conversation every single week because realistically, next week of games is going to be another big VAR mistake. It's going to talk about it again. So let's do that though. Let's move on for now. The next game, my beloved Chelsea. I'd like to talk about them next in a very convincing win, of course, over Fulham with a 1-0 win with a penalty.
Yeah.
He's the GOAT.
He's the best Chelsea player at the minute, no doubt for me.
I can't believe City let him go.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, who else?
Thiago Silva.
He's for your team right now, Palmer.
For your team,
you could do without Thiago Silva.
Cole Palmer's been our most important player this season. I wouldn't say.
Just naturally says Cole Palmer.
That's his name. It's his name. I don't know. No, I think he's been our most important player this season, but our best player, I think, is still Thiago Silva.
Right. Well, distinction between best and important.
Yeah. But another penalty scored by Cole Palmer, and another standard story of Chelsea this season and also last season where we create 25 chances and can't put any of them in the back of the net.
They're getting worried a bit. Like if in January you've got to be looking for a striker.
It's almost as if you need a striker. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's almost as if we need a striker for the last 3 years. And we just don't want to buy one.
History to fair has been like since Drogba, you've been like we need a striker.
We had Diego Costa for like a year or two, and he was sick, and that's the only time since Drogba we've had a functional striker.
Forget about Olivier Giroud. But even then,
I have such mixed feelings about Olivier Giroud.
Basically, is Chelsea look solid? They've looked solid for the past 3 seasons. Even when they started doing bad defensively, they don't concede. But you're not scoring.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure I'd say defensively we don't concede. Defensively we're pretty bad too.
Last season you barely conceded.
Last season I'll agree.
And you didn't. You
had a goal difference of like near 0, didn't you?
Yeah. But we don't score. Every single game we have an XG significantly higher than the goals that we score. The disparity in the chances we create and the amount of shots we have on target or off target compared to the amount of goals we score is massive. And it's painful because I'm watching it and thinking we're playing well. We've played well. We've done well. We got the win this time against Fulham. I think Georgia Petrovic made a couple of fantastic saves to keep us in it.
It's very easy for that game to swing the other way.
Yeah,
and Fulham looked good.
All it would have taken is a slightly worse performance from Petrovic or a slightly better finish from Jimenez or something like that, and we've dropped 2 points again.
Where did you buy Petrovic from? Did he come in this season?
It was the beginning of the season, I think. We were just going to loan him out, but he ended up just kind of sitting in our youth teams. We bought him from an MLS team for like 18 million. Yeah. He's really young. I think he's only like 22, something like that.
I do think he's coming.
I'll have a look. Well, we weren't really planning to use him, but then obviously Kepa went out to Real Madrid which is
Oh, I forgot about
the
that.
weirdest transfer.
He's been playing for him 'cause
Our
Courtois
goalkeeper
injured.
situation has been quite similar to our striker situation. I'd say that we had such good ones and then we haven't had a good.
But
Edouard Mendy had one banging season and then
Dropped
just
off.
absolutely.
But I don't think. I think with Sanchez didn't look too bad before he got injured. He didn't look. Don't get me wrong. He's not
No,
like,
I don't agree with that.
He's
I
not-
think he looked pretty terrible.
you
I-
trust
Quite
him.
shaky, I think.
Every
yeah.
single
Shaky,
game,
but-
every single game, without fail, at least 2 or 3 times he would pass it to one of the opposition players.
Yeah.
He has
Yeah,
the
yeah,
worst
yeah.
distribution I've ever seen
But
in the goalkeeper.
I just don't think he wasn't.
So tell us how you really feel.
That might be maybe a
As
little bit of
second
bias
choice,
because of.
as a second choice keeper, and you have Petrovic being your first choice.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
goalkeeper situation is great. It's better than the majority of the Premier League teams.
Probably, yeah.
But your striker situation, fuck off the keeper. Who needs the keeper? Where's your striker right
Your
now?
striker,
Yeah, I suppose. I just
You transfer room into Benzema.
look. I do like
Benzema.
Petrovic, and I'm glad he's coming. He's 24.
Good signing, yeah.
He's
Oh,
24.
Benzema.
We bought him from New England,
New England.
and he's 24. So he is young. Obviously for a goalkeeper,
well, yeah.
he's still really
He's
young.
pretty
He's coming in. He's played solid. He's not incredible, but he's doing a job. You know.
What, Petrovic?
Yeah, which is better than
I
the
would-
last,
I
like,
would-
4 or 5
I would
goalkeepers we've had.
I would consider his performances recently as on the good side of. If it
I'd say on the
I
good
would say
side,
he's
yeah.
been great.
I'd say on the good side, but like I wouldn't consider him amongst the better ones in my opinion. I think.
So,
Yeah,
move on to City Newcastle.
Yeah, City Newcastle.
Pretty good game, I think.
Exciting.
Very exciting. Was it controversial or was it just sort of
Uh,
happened?
I
but
mean,
wasn't
there
really
was
down to
there was some controversy about the Edison injury, right?
Yeah.
Because they didn't blow for an obvious offside, which it wasn't really that obvious.
No.
but-
Yet again, this feels like the VAR thing where we're going. This situation I don't agree with, but the grand scheme I agree. I do think there's times where it's obviously offside and they should be putting his flag up. But that one was quite close.
It's a problem this time because he got injured though.
Yeah, but then we're going back to human errors. If it was onside,
yeah, we're just
everyone
blaming
would rip
VAR for
the
it.
shit out of him.
Yeah, yeah.
If it was onside,
No, they would.
that
Absolutely.
linesman would be ruined.
I just feel like VAR's such a huge topic. It overshadows the game sometimes. Like, I think it just sort of.
To be
It
fair,
shouldn't.
I wouldn't say it did too much with City Newcastle.
It
I think
didn't,
I
but
think
in
it was a
most-
really good
yeah.
game. I think the intensity from both teams were fantastic. Maybe a few defensive mistakes. A lot of again passes that like Edison at one point passed it. I don't remember what player it was. He passed it to one of the Newcastle players.
He does that.
They bottled the chance, but he did give them the chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And there was a lot of like just defenders passing it out towards the midfield and it getting
A
intercepted.
lot of just sort of over the top from either side, especially
Yeah,
on
yeah.
like Walker's side where the 2 goals came from, and then over Newcastle's with De Bruyne's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, Walker didn't seem like he was having a bad game, and he seemed to be positioning himself well. To be fair, pretty much every single one of those goals was a top tier goal.
Yeah,
like
very
the Anthony
good
Gordon,
finishes.
Anthony Gordon finish was phenomenal. Like
I do think that was just the way the City were playing it. It's the way City play a lot.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
They play high and they play a bit like risky. Do you remember when they were putting John Stones and like CDM from centre
Yeah,
back? Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
And they played like 3 players at the back.
Made it
Do you know
work
what I mean?
though. Like,
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
They,
it was
they
like
make
Diaz,
it work.
yeah,
And they've been a bit shaky this season of injuries and stuff. But City,
yeah.
I
They're
think-
still
they're
top. They're
doing
still
City
top.
teams,
Well, I mean, they're not
They
top. 'Cause they're top,
they dropped some
but
points.
top of the game.
They dropped some points when Rodri was out.
Yeah.
And obviously they've been a little bit less effective without De Bruyne. And he's come back in.
He's back.
He played, it took him 17 minutes against Huddersfield to get an assist.
Oh my
Unreal.
God.
He gets a goal in this game from outside the box. He makes one of the best passes I've seen all season, if not the best pass I've seen all season, to Oscar Bob in the last minute.
Should we talk a bit about Bob? 'Cause
Oscar Bob is
for a young person, first game, he only just came on. What a touch!
Oh,
what
yeah,
a
I
bit
know.
of skill! It's unreal.
like a cricketer around the
composure
goalkeeper.
in that
Assist,
sort of-
that finish, that touch, crazy goal,
Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
goal.
Yeah, to be fair, I think if I was a young player, I could probably perform decently well if I had De Bruyne picking it
yeah.
over the top of me.
I've got-
Not to take
Oscar
anything
Bob,
away from
no,
Oscar Bob.
no,
He-
Oscar Bob is a great talent.
technically, it was
You watch
fantastic.
out
But
Oscar Bob, I'm telling you.
I've got a couple of points about De Bruyne. It's kind of crazy how I might be wrong on this. I don't know, but he's never won the Player of the Month. I think I'm pretty sure I saw.
Well,
that
I've not
stat
seen
the
him
other
win
day.
it loads.
He might have.
Even if he
Correct me
has-
if I'm wrong on that.
that was at least true for a while. I'm sure he.
He
even
might
if-
have now,
Even if he
but-
has won it, he's only won like 1 or 2, which is outrageous.
Yeah, which is untrue. And then obviously he's won Player of the Year, which is makes sense. But
Yeah.
someone who's got that much of an impact for a top side surely must have like better credentials than that.
I think
This-
a lot of the time, though, the Player of the Month award will come into either someone who's gone way above their usual standard
Yeah.
or goals and assists. And De Bruyne gets good numbers with assists and goals and stuff.
I guess because it's so
never,
constant over the season.
If he gets 15 goals and 15 assists in a season, he doesn't do so by getting 7 and 8 in December. He does so by getting 2 and 2 every month.
And also he has like, this isn't the first time he's gone out with injuries. Like, he's always been a bit in and out occasionally. Not even in recent years. When he first went to City, he was always a bit in and out of injuries. I feel like, I don't know, that's why he's been so sort of underrated, is because it took him a while to be the star of that City side, and now he is the star of the City, and people are seeing him for what he is. Do you know what I mean? But I still think, one of them sort of Ballon d'Ors and like the World Men's Player Awards, they're all a bit dodgy.
They are. It's like, I don't know how he's been counted out for that.
I don't even know how he's not got. He won a treble. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I think De Bruyne puts himself in with a pretty good shout now. He was getting there a couple of seasons ago. He's got to be in the shout now.
Yeah, but to be they're just aging and aging.
One of the best Premier League midfielders of all time, right? He's got to be in that debate up at the top.
100%. That's a debate we can do.
Your point is still accurate, by the way. De Bruyne has never won a Premier League player of the month. That is insane. Regardless of his consistency, that is insane.
That is outrageous. Yeah.
That he's never won a Player of the Month award.
Where did we go from here?
He's probably rid of football. He's probably been the best player in the Premier League over the last 5 years consistently. There's been little points where maybe Salah or Van Dijk have been higher, but
not even doing
De Bruyne's
crazy stuff.
Always been
doing what he needed to do.
I know. I just guess because he's been so consistent throughout the season that he's never really had like an unreal month. It's crazy to think that, but it's
by his standards.
By his standards, exactly. Yeah. So what's next? We've got the Spurs.
United Spurs.
Yeah.
Which
good result for you.
United, great result. Draw either side of us. Yeah. United and Tottenham both doing bad. You'd love to see it. As
a Chelsea fan, I absolutely agree with you.
It's great.
Both of them dropping points.
Great game to watch. I feel like it was exciting. A lot of stuff happened. But I think we need to talk about United as a problem, because it's Manchester United, and this has been a common recurring theme for loads of seasons. And what's going on? Because is
it time to accept they're not a big team anymore?
Is it the manager? Is it the players? Is it the board? Where do we?
Yes.
All of the
yes is the answer.
But you've got, even in the Tottenham Man United game, there was so much danger every time Tottenham got a corner. And to me, that's not...
defensively from set pieces.
That's the manager's problem. That's a manager's problem.
The coaching system.
The coaching system that the manager's created, and even how these players are set up and knowing their jobs, what they're doing, that's a manager's fault. And I feel like maybe it's time to...
As much as the higher up situation at Man U is a mess, and it has been for quite a while, the sort of...
Ten Hag's not the man.
Performances on the pitch just haven't sort of rectified that, and they haven't. I feel like
there are very few players in that Man United squad that care about playing for Man United.
Recently, there was I don't know if it's actually true anymore because they've played a few more games, but I think it was around Christmas that David Moyes and Ten Hag had the same run. They're both seventh or something, and they both get the same. If anything, David Moyes won more games, conceded less goals, scored more goals.
I did actually see the other day, and I think it hasn't happened now because they didn't beat Tottenham. I saw the other day, and I don't know how accurate it was because I saw it just online. I don't remember where, but I'm pretty sure it was Twitter, so maybe it wasn't entirely accurate. But that if Man United would have won that game in that same time period of however many games they played, Erik Ten Hag, or it might have just been overall, Erik Ten Hag would have had a higher win percentage than Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah, but this is
obviously Sir Alex Ferguson did it over a much longer amount of time.
Ferguson got to a team far worse than Ten Hag got to. Alex Ferguson had just come from winning the Champions League with Aberdeen. Aberdeen,
mate.
He won a Champions League with Aberdeen. So
it's absolutely no reflection on how good they are as managers, I just think it's an interesting start, considering.
It's not been shocking.
The whole thing about the Moyes Ten Hag, the comparison that you made, I think Moyes coming in directly after Ferguson didn't help him.
It was harder, yeah. I think he had a harder job than
Ten Hag. You could say the same about Ten Hag having followed... Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did all right.
I think
Mourinho, he got Van Gaal, so many other top
feel like what a time to take over Man United. You've just gone from fucking Van Gaal, Mourinho to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Especially with the amount of money that they've pumped through for his team.
I
spent so much money.
I feel like With what you're saying about coming in after Oli and it being a good time to come in, like the way that the fans reacted to the appointment of Ten Hag was very much one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was someone that we loved but was never a good manager, and now we've got a manager who knows what he's doing, who's skilled and big. He had like there was pressure, but there was also so much praise for him. It wasn't like, oh, you've got to come in and do well. It was he's gonna come in and do well. He's got this ability.
They've given him time. Let's be fair. He's had
his second season.
It's his second season. He's up to January now. They're gonna clearly give him till the end of the season, and they've got to look at themselves at the end.
Fell out with Ronaldo, who's doing so well.
Doesn't mean you've got to look at the end of the season and go, he's fallen out with Sancho as well. Sancho's already gone and bagged a goal in Dortmund.
Has he?
Yeah, of course.
Got an assist in his first game for Marco Reus. Yeah,
goal contribution in his first game. Do you know what I mean?
It's in the Bundesliga.
I know, but we've got to kind of look at fucking Ten Hag and go, there's a bit of an issue there.
Yeah, but the thing is, I agree, and I think United are a mess, and I think Ten Hag's a mess. But then they've played against Tottenham, got a 2-2 draw against a team who earlier on in the season people were saying were going to win the league, who've had a resurgence, who've had Big Ange in charge, who pretty much everyone would unanimously say has been fantastic.
Yeah,
but they've drawn, and they're what?
The villains of London then. Tottenham Hotspur. They are doing better than they.
Is Richarlison finally finding form in the Premier League? No, okay, fine. But I mean, compared to what he was doing, in Watford, he's
for Watford and Everton, he was playing better than he did, I think, at Tottenham. Personally,
yeah, I suppose, but he wasn't really the.
Richarlison at Everton was flat.
He wasn't really the. I think because he wasn't really the sole striker. He was there with Calvert-Lewin. I think that sort of dynamic really.
I think that's why he's done better this season, because of how much of a priority Heung-min Son has taken in their attacks.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Because he's taken so much of that spearhead of the attack, it has allowed Richarlison to play a little.
And obviously having Maddison in behind to supply
I do just think that a 2-2 draw against Tottenham sounds good on paper and looks good with the start of Tottenham's season. But Tottenham.
Apologies, sorry for that.
Tottenham for recency has been. They've not been good. They've not been on form. No. They haven't been on form.
No, they got a few injuries and then fell apart.
Yeah, I know
they've got the players back now.
I know United haven't been on form either as well, but that's a game both of them are upset about.
And also basically all of the goals were quite mid-tier goals,
except from Hoyland.
It was a scrappy goal. When I say mid-tier goal, Hoyland's finish was phenomenal.
Build-up was dreadful.
The build-up, the fact that none of those there were like 4 men around Rashford, and it's not. I don't even think it was that Rashford was being that technically skilled. They just didn't take the ball off him, and it was the same for Rashford's goal as well. Like the way he played the 1-2, but the pass back to him was terrible. The defenders should have stopped it. Again, a good finish. They should have stopped it. Richarlison's goal from the corner, he should have been defended.
It was like a story of like 2 bad teams defending. One bad, scrappy sort of get the ball. The other one can't defend a second. Needs to save his life.
City Newcastle.
It kind of was across all 3 of those games a pretty consistent story, right? But the quality just goes up every time with Burnley, Luton.
I think that's the Prem this season, though, isn't it? The competitiveness going on is crazy.
I do like it. It's why it's great.
Yeah, crazy. Every team would play. Do you play? I don't know about Liverpool actually, but like I know that you'll be looking at every fixture you go into and going fuck. Because I'm looking at Nottingham Forest and going,
I'm a Chelsea fan. We played Middlesbrough and lost, and I didn't expect us to win it either.
I'm literally looking at we got Sheffield United next week, and I'm like, that's a great fixture for us because bottom of the table, but we can still easily lose that.
I mean, I tell you, always the team that I come across in the fixture list, and it's City, and I'm like, oh god.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, obviously. Everyone's scared.
That shows where we are, That's what I'm saying.
I don't even count City as a fixture. I'm like, well, that's a loss. Let's go. We'll move on.
But I think it just shows where City are.
We drew 4-4 with City. That wasn't one of our problems. We had a much bigger problem with you.
More a problem with Fulham, isn't it? Yeah. But we drew against you.
That's good.
Got Everton and Villa.
That is
kind of the contrast of the three games we just mentioned.
Yeah, but lots of goals, lots of excitement, and then
0-0.
Yeah, well, I do kind of feel like this is more because Sean Dyche shutting that game down a little bit.
Yeah, it's what he does. It's what he does.
This is why Everton are doing well.
He's a goal.
This is what Everton are doing well, though, isn't it? It's because they're defensively. They are like a brick fucking wall. Really.
But they've been quite good on the attack as well. Dwight McNeil's been really good this season. Like Doucouré's been a revelation as an attacking midfielder. Calvert-Lewin being back has been really good. If Everton hadn't have had their points reduction, they would currently be
above Chelsea.
No, that's
No,
not accurate
That's
anymore.
5 games
That
ago,
was accurate. It's not anymore. They would currently be 12th.
See, that's
One,
amazing.
one point behind Wolves.
For the amount of money that he spent, which is barely.
He's built a team that looks like, and also he relates to the fans. Like everything at Everton
I
feels
love Sean
so
Dyche.
positive now. I'm jealous. I'm jealous of Everton.
They do really well at West Ham, I think.
I'm jealous.
But
It's
you
so
got more
nice to be a Everton fan now. I feel like getting a
I
point.
mean, not with the points deduction.
Not with the points.
I mean,
No,
yeah.
but even then, it makes you feel together, doesn't it?
A little bit.
Them we're against the
fact that
Prem
it's-
now. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I think I'd rather just be higher up the table than have a point deduction because they won't be agreeing with that if they get relegated.
Given the
all
financial
I'm saying.
situation and recent performances, like they survived relegation last year with Lampard somehow.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. That's given us of like
I'm
let's
telling you, the
carry on.
fans feel-
We're still here.
Like,
type of thing.
do you win?
Yeah,
when someone
I
puts
know
your
what
head
you
in the
mean.
mud, it makes you want to fight back.
Yeah, that's what I
feel
mean.
like
Like,
they're doing.
that's the Merseyside spirit in it.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. But
You don't have to bring. Like,
I did have
we're talking about Everton.
It's Merseyside. It's linked.
it was a game Villa lost as well. I feel like.
Yeah,
Villa
Villa should have done more with that. attacking wise, Villa definitely should have done more with that.
Yeah.
But both goalkeepers put in very good performances.
Yeah,
Pickford made a
I
couple
agree.
of very good saves.
He's
Emi
been good
Martinez,
this season.
the one-on-one chance with Calvert-Lewin, maybe should have done better, but a good save from Emi Martinez, a good follow-up save immediately afterwards.
You still have to save it. Like
I think we were saying Calvert-Lewin should have scored.
Calvert-Lewin should have done better, but it's Emi Martinez. Emi Martinez.
He was man of the match.
He's got him away.
Emi Martinez, and I'm pretty sure Everton's highest rated player in the game was Pickford as well. It was very much a defensive performance from both teams.
Yeah.
But the goalkeepers
Pickford has been very good this season.
were probably the stars. But Emi Martinez shut out Everton. Villa should have done better on the attack, but again, a good defensive performance. And Emi Martinez said, would you say Emi Martinez is the best goalkeeper in the league?
No.
Well,
Oh, is that that's the set?
no, that was me setting you up for a
That's a
segue.
segue.
But speaking of,
So we have speaking of best goalkeeper in the Prem this season, we have
Smooth.
sort of been talking to ourselves about the current best 11 in the season so far in the Premier League, and we all have our own 11. I think we've involved in the same formation, maybe. I did 4-3-1.
I've done a
I've
4-2-3-1.
done 4-2-3-1. Yeah.
You have perfect. So I don't know how we want to start this.
Um,
we want to go for. I think
well-
we'll do.
Well, we'll take it in turn. Do you want to do it position by position, or do you want to do it team by team?
I think we should do position.
Position by position. Okay.
better to
Well,
do
what
that.
we'll do is we'll
I think we
discuss.
should decide on one and then build a team.
Oh, you want to build a team together?
I mean, we can do.
I
I'm
feel
down
like-
for that.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm happy to do that. It might take a little bit longer if we do that,
That is true.
but
Fine.
I'm happy to do that if you like. I can also I'm gonna keep my phone out for this, not being rude, but I'm gonna I've
Still unsociable.
got lots of resources together for stats and stuff like that. If you want to discuss those.
Yeah, good stuff. Good
So
stuff.
we'll start with goalkeeper then.
I know most saves
This-
Sheffield United, isn't it? Sheffield United's keeper. But
Fotheringham.
yeah.
Really? You know
most
what? I didn't
saves.
think
But
of that actually.
That's more to do with the team.
So
than the
so
keeper sometimes.
interestingly, if you're looking at a lot of the big stats,
Yeah.
the most clean sheets out of any goalkeeper is Jordan Pickford.
Basically.
Yeah.
The highest goals prevented stat is Luton goalkeeper Kaczynski, I think his name.
Kaminsky,
Kaminski.
I think.
Um,
Maybe. Thomas Kaminsky, I think.
yeah. The highest saves per 90 Wes Fotheringham. But also highest goals conceded per 90 is Wes Fotheringham. So he is making more saves. But that's because he's taking more shots, right?
They are
Who if you're just for your individual, because we've all set up our individual teams, so we might as well say who we've gone for, and then we can discuss who we want to go in. Who's your goalkeeper?
Pickford.
Pickford.
I just think I've not seen Pickford this good in an Everton side in a very long time. Like he's always great for England, but for Everton, he can't save anything. He's giving goals to Liverpool and shit. Do you know what I mean? But this season,
He's been
Everton
top
have
this game,
looked solid across the whole back, and I just want to put a few Everton players in there just to show
You
my
really like Everton
appreciation.
right now.
I like Everton
Sean
now.
Dyche,
This
mate.
is
Okay,
it.
fair enough.
I like Everton.
Yeah.
Chickford.
Interesting.
You're gonna think I'm biased, but Alisson. I just think his save percentage is the highest. He's got second most clean sheets. Really, he hasn't conceded that much.
Yeah,
I just think
it is.
Stats support it, but I'll go into that.
Okay. So going off the stats, you are right that Alisson has the highest save percentage with 77.3%, which is a fantastic stat and is 3% higher than the next, which is Nick Pope. In terms of clean sheets, he is drawn second with Andre Onana.
I know, yeah,
by the
crazy,
way,
yeah.
has the second highest. But
How?
Andre Onana has also conceded around double the amount of goals as Alisson has.
Yeah, and also we
Only
cannot
one
put
more-
Onana anywhere near this thing.
Only
Yeah.
one more than Jordan Pickford, though.
Yeah.
I might point out.
Yeah, but different kettle of fish.
It's,
though, isn't
it's
it?
more of a defence thing
Yeah,
than a
yeah,
keeper
of course.
thing, I think.
Also, it's a different kettle of fish when you're comparing like Liverpool's to Everton's right now.
Yeah.
I think when I was putting these lists together, I sort of gave some resources to you guys as well. The goalkeepers that came to mind that I put on the list to discuss were Alisson, Emi Martinez, Vicario, Edison, and Pickford.
Top 5, yeah.
Are sort of
That's
the standard ones that had been the big performers. Though I think it is worth mentioning goalkeepers like Foderingham, who obviously has conceded a lot. He's in a very terrible Sheffield United side.
Well, even
on an individual basis.
I think there's been a lot of good keepers. It's Areola for us, by the way.
Areola's been fantastic.
Unreal, saved us many games.
Yeah.
I just don't want to put him in there because he's fresh, he's new.
Areola is second in goals prevented as well.
Yeah,
really good experience. He's been PSG system, I think.
Yeah, PSG
really good in
system.
Europe. I do rate Areola to be fair.
He's I'm scared of how good he is because it means he's leaving.
No.
I think there is
situation.
There is definitely a lot to say for all of them. For me, in my team, I also went with Alisson. Obviously, stats aren't everything. But even based off the stats, he's got the highest save percentage. He's got the second lowest goals conceded. Only Nick Pope has conceded less. But Nick Pope also has been prone to a few mistakes, and his distribution hasn't been as good.
Well, that's
Alisson's distribution has been fantastic.
You know, I'd say.
Are we going Alisson then? As our,
I'm
choice.
I mean, it is 2 against 1. So if we're going with a combined team, I think it has to be Alisson.
I'm happy with Alisson.
But Pickford deserves the mention.
I
think it's interesting that we didn't talk about Emi Martinez that much after that game.
I don't like him.
But actually, stats wise, he's pretty consistently around 5th, 6th, 7th.
World Cup winner.
He's clearly an unbelievable keeper, but I just hate his personality.
Fair enough.
It's like a fucking holly bush.
I want to say Edison was just not on the level at the minute of the season. His stats saying.
I disagree.
I think.
I think City are just in a weird period because they've just won the treble.
I mean,
if you look at Edison versus Alisson, I take Edison every time. Not this season.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
Not even just this season.
I like him. The confidence.
Taking away any kind of Liverpool bias, obviously, I don't think there's ever been a point where I've preferred Edison.
The Brazilian national coach right now is picking Edison over Alisson.
It's the way they play, though. If you're going just for keeper rather than playing from the back or whatever how you play, it's his.
But also
the balls he does.
The German national team has consistently picked Manuel Neuer ahead of Ter Stegen, despite Neuer's absolute fall.
But they've always picked Alisson majority of the time. It's only a recent change.
I think Edison generally has better distribution, but I think literally everything else, Alisson is better. If you want a goalkeeper to save a one-on-one, it's Alisson. If you want a goalkeeper to look big, it's Alisson. If you want a goalkeeper to claim a corner, it's Alisson.
This is such a one that I will argue that they are, because I think they are. That there's like inches in it.
I think they're both fantastic.
This is the problem that Brazil has, is they've got 2 world-class keepers.
I think they're both fantastic, but I think Alisson has been maybe it's somewhat down to the fact that over the last few years Liverpool have had a lot more shaky moments in defence than Man City have, so he's had more to do. But Alisson's importance to Liverpool over the last 3 years has been unstated.
He's kept us where we are.
You could literally say the same about Edison.
I don't think
but you just
not in the same way though.
Not
the same, but because again, it's probably more so down to things like Van Dijk being out injured for a while and Van Dijk's partner never being a player as good a quality as any of the City's centre backs.
Did get what's his face from us. It did show a decline because he played Champions League fixtures. What's his fucking name?
Karius?
Nah, West Ham player.
Hmm?
You bought a keeper from us, Adrian. And that showed how much he needed it.
And you know, City's drop off is to Zach Steffen, who's a decent goalkeeper, but he's not nearly at the quality of Edison.
No.
Kelleher,
but it didn't make us, which made a difference when it went to Kelleher. It made a difference to your defence. Whereas to City, if Edison's out, it makes a difference. The defence carries them a lot more, and I don't think there's as big of a drop to Zach Steffen.
Yeah,
but
100%.
I think. Yeah, I think
quite time conscious.
We do
yes,
centre backs.
I was going to go with if you're going through it in terms of order, I was going to go right back first, kind of like
Yeah,
across the
right
back
back
line, etc.,
Yeah,
etc.
I've got to look at sort my sheet.
Get the paper out.
So again, I put 5 names together on this, but you're welcome to mention other names if you would like. The names I put on the list were Trent Alexander-Arnold, Kieran Trippier, Matty Cash, Kyle Walker, and Pedro Porro.
Fantastic set of players. Let's just say that. Fantastic set of players.
Have you gone with?
Pedro Porro.
Interesting.
Trent.
Have you?
Yeah.
You know Trent as well?
Ooh, I spent a while debating
Yeah.
this. I haven't gone with either.
Oh,
Okay.
So again, going back to the start, Trent Alexander-Arnold over the last 5 to 8 games has been fantastic. Before that, kind of wasn't really there. He's got good stats, obviously.
Trent, I love you, but
he just excited me recently. That's all it is.
he's a top player, and he's got incredible quality.
first
And
time
to be fair, when I was looking into his stats and stuff, his defensive stats are significantly better than I expected.
First time he's excited me since he started coming through at Liverpool. That's all. That's the only reason.
But when it came to actually looking at the stats and stuff, I didn't realise how good Pedro Porro would be.
yeah,
He's got 7 assists, which is I think drawn second assists in the league. He's got 79.6% pass accuracy this season. He's created 39 chances, had 30 successful crosses, which without comparison is a little bit hard to keep on with. But if you're comparing it with, say, Trent Alexander-Arnold, who again has higher stats than I expected. He's got 2 goals, 3 assists, but then he's created 49 chances. He's got 36 successful crosses, which is only slightly higher than Pedro Porro for a player I would have expected to have much higher numbers in that position.
I think he's important to you at the moment, though, Trent.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Trent's tackle percentage at 69.2% with 18 tackles won. His duels won percentage is 46.2%. So he does get beat a lot.
His role is different now. He's more of a DLP.
Now, obviously, again, it's not all stats.
Changed.
Again, it's not all stats, and
not
obviously
stats.
Liverpool's system doesn't have him in that same kind of position. However, a player who's kind of done the opposite to Trent for me, but still has such good stats, even with a few mistakes over the past few games, Kieran Trippier. Kieran Trippier's stats have been in a Newcastle team who have massively underperformed, I might add, this season. He's also got 7 assists.
I wouldn't know about massively underperformed.
I wouldn't say massively.
Compared to last season.
I think from expectations going into it, I knew they'd drop off because of Champions League.
Drop off, yes. Drop off to below Chelsea in the league.
Not
But
much.
I mean, it's Chelsea. Like
They're thrashed out of the Champions League. They're
in a group of death.
against PSG, Milan, and Dortmund, though, I think.
No, I'm not saying they should have gone through, but they crashed out. They got that good win against PSG and then never did anything again.
Yeah, I suppose.
And it's not just that they're lower down in the table. You know how we said earlier about how Chelsea have played well, they've just not quite got that finishing touch. Newcastle quite often have played badly.
Yeah, but I know it sounds funny, but as someone who's like used to be closer to Newcastle than they are now, I bet they're just happy to compete. When we started to compete,
I understand that, but what I'm saying is compared to last season where they did so good, they haven't been as good. Trippier has still been the standout player. He has made a few mistakes and had maybe 4 or 5 bad games, but chances created 54, successful crosses 53, blows the other 2 out of the water. Tackles won 20, so his tackle won percentage isn't that high, but his duels won at 97. With duels won percentage of 56. He's been dribbled past 32 times, which sounds like a lot. It's at least 10 less than both Pedro Porro and
Trent's amazing.
and Trent Alexander-Arnold.
It's time at Athletic and Madrid, isn't it?
Yeah, aside from the most recent games that I've at least watched, he's putting in captain's performances.
Yeah, he had a bit of a fall off because, quite frankly, as the rest of the team has been, Newcastle's fall off has been largely related to the fact that as they've rotated through their squad, they've not had the good backup players. They just haven't rotated Trippier.
I think we need a Newcastle player in the team, and I'd be very happy for Trippier to go.
Well, we have all gone different players in our teams there. We've got Trent, Porro, and Trippier.
Happy to concede for Porro for Trippier because before Trippier fell off a little bit, I had Trippier in anyway.
And also, fuck Spurs. Carrying on.
I back that, yeah.
I back it. Right.
But that's not to take anything away from the other 2. And also, obviously, the other names I mentioned, there are also other fullbacks that have been good. Walker has been pretty consistently solid, as we said.
He always is.
He always seems second best at something to all of them. could have definitely been in there just as much, but I don't think he's been as important. And Matty Cash, stats-wise, the stats really don't back him up. He's not actually been that good.
He can
but
definitely compete.
I'd
been a
throw
solid part of
Sufal
the
in there occasionally. I think he's been alright, gets an assist every now and then, but
He's
nothing
really good
special.
defensively.
Nothing
Good defensively,
special.
I saw in stats, but
Right, on to centre backs then. So we've got 2 centre backs.
Yeah.
Obviously. Again,
try fly through one a bit quicker.
I put together the list. I got Virgil van Dijk, Van de Ven, Ruben Diaz, John Stones, Sven Botman, William Saliba, Diego Carlos, and Sergio Romero.
Mm-hmm.
Sergio
Romero. Christian.
That's his name, isn't it?
Christian Romero.
Is it Christian Romero? Who the fuck is Sergio Romero?
I have no idea.
Oh my god, that's the goalkeeper.
That's an old man.
Okay, well, he's not going to my team anyway. So
Sergio Romero, centre back.
Sergio Romero at centre back. You know what? He'd probably get more minutes than Romero because he gets sent off every other game. So my 2 centre backs in this one, for me, were quite easy. There's been some really good performances from quite a few of those players, but I think Saliba has been consistently one of the best defenders in the league last year and this year.
I put Saliba in on right centre back, so I think we can all.
He's been
agree.
Fantastic. And I think while a lot of the stats don't actually back it, a lot less than I expected, I think just from watching the football, Virgil van Dijk's been back to his best.
I've got Virgil in.
I've got Virgil.
I think the centre back himself.
I've got Tarkowski though instead of Saliba.
Have you?
Everton's gonna fucking love me. Everton.
Everton.
But I'm telling you, Tarkowski. When you look at the change that Everton have gone through in their season, if we're talking about genuine from horror, do you know what I mean? Like if we're talking about how they've changed into a better players.
Look,
Tarkowski.
I understand what you're saying, and I do think Tarkowski is massively underrated. However, he is not better. He has not been better this season than Saliba. He's not been better this season than Van de Ven, than Romero, than.
I don't know now. Well, it depends what you mean by that. He's done more for Everton than they have done for their teams, except from Van Dijk and Saliba. Probably.
I wouldn't agree with that.
I would, 100%. Everton have just come back from a 10-point deduction. And that is due to players like Tarkowski.
I don't think he's been more important than those players, and he's not better than those players, and he hasn't played better than those players. I just think it's
just like because he plays for a worse team, it's easier to go. He's not better than them. But you put Tarkowski in a Tottenham would fucking love him.
I do back that actually.
I don't know if he'd do that much of a different job to where at Dyer. I just
controversial.
Well, he'd do the same thing as Eric Dyer, wouldn't he? He'd sit on the bench. And then go out on loan for the second half of the season.
Get sold to Bayern.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry. He's been good.
I'm happy.
Not on the level of the other players.
And we'll move on. But Tarkowski is a good. I want to mention.
I do.
I think all 3 of us had Van Dijk and we had 2 Salibas.
Yeah,
I think he's been good. I think it's silly to put him ahead of.
100%.
I think there's at least 6 other players that.
I didn't want to put that many Arsenal players.
Had 2 Everton players in your team, by the way, who without the points deduction would be 12th. I just want to put that out there.
Great place for Everton. They literally were fighting relegation last season.
It is
Mate, the 2 places off you, man. Come on, games again.
Yeah, and we haven't been good. You know, it's not no Chelsea players have been mentioned so far.
No, but I'm saying
that doesn't mean they won't. But for these positions,
kept up with a team that spent billions.
They've also spent significant amounts of money over the last 5 or 10 years, and we haven't spent it well. Keeping up with Chelsea right now is not a compliment.
Yeah, that's true. But I do think Everton have been great. You can't discount it.
Everton have been good. I just anyway.
Let's move on. Left back. Yes. The
players I put in this were Udogie, Gvardiol, Anthony Robinson from Fulham, Zinchenko, and Estupinan. I think this is one of the weaker positions. Yeah, I don't think there's with Luke Shaw being out injured, Robertson being out injured, Chilwell being out injured. There's not really been like a top tier out and out left back.
I went Estupinan just because he excites me when I watch him. I think he's exciting to watch. And at the World Cup, he was amazing, so I put him in. That's my only reason. I struggled a lot with that position. Emerson at West Ham's been good.
He has actually,
but not good enough.
Whenever I watch him, I'm like,
he has been good. I think maybe I have a little bit of bias because of how bad he was for Chelsea.
Yeah,
but
he's been good, but it's more to do with his link with Paqueta than it is him. Do you know what I mean? So Estupinan, that's who I've gone for.
I've watched Spurs a lot this season because I really like Ange, and Udogie has been very, very good. I was going to say unreal, but I don't know if he's been that level yet because of his sometimes errors in his.
Udogie's stats don't back him up very well, but just from watching him play, I think he's been very good, and he's been an important part of that Tottenham defence, especially in the way that they play, which is very aggressive. He's solidified that defence a lot. I think when it comes to the stats, Anthony Robinson deserves
Deserves
more of a
mentions,
mention that he comes into first. He's been fantastic part of that defence. I also went the doggy though. I think he's just made such a big impact on that Tottenham team.
I think Tottenham's the fullbacks are important.
Fullback, definitely.
Tottenham's growth this season has been down to making the right transfers. I think every player they've brought in has improved the team.
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I mean,
but yeah, I'm happy with him going as well because their fullbacks have been unreal this season.
Yeah.
Cool. So just to go back over that, we've got Alisson in net. We've got Trippier at right back, Van Dijk and Saliba at centre backs, and Udogie at left back. That's
I'm happy with that. So
that's our back line.
Good defence.
Do the two CDMs together.
CDMs.
Yeah. So we said we've all gone for 4-2-3-1, right? So we've got two CDMs in this. I actually think this was the strongest position.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
I think. So when I put this together, I put 8 names in here. I could think of at least 4. Well,
I went for 1 off.
There were several other players that have played well enough that they could have been mentioned here. But if I just wrote a list of 15 players, then what's the point in giving you the list? The list of players I mentioned to kind of make it easier were Rodri, Bruno G. I don't know how you say his name, so I'm going to go with Bruno G.
You don't want to try it and butcher it. So
That's why I said Bruno G. Declan Rice, Conor Gallagher, James Ward-Prowse, who I was kind of debating between putting here or in Cam because he kind of plays just an 8 role. But
I would say the same for Gallagher.
It's more
really
so.
CDM.
He has been for us this season a lot. He's switched between the two a lot, but
I guess
if we place 2 CDMs, one of them could have fallen back.
Okay, listen. Obviously, a fair few of these players could have been put in centre mid, but if we're doing a 4-2-3-1, we have to split them into 2. And I would say that Gallagher and Ward-Prowse's roles have been further back than they have attacking. So
I've not put either.
I put them here. Douglas Luiz. I've got Bentancur, and I've got Thomas Souček.
Souček I thought was an interesting show. I do like him a lot.
He scored a lot of goals this season.
He does that
he's a great
bombing forward. So.
Yeah, helicopter. He scores.
He's got 5 goals, 1 assist this season.
That's great for a
in matches, yeah. He's won 88 duels. He's done the binge over past 11 times, which isn't massive compared to a lot of the others. He's won a lot of aerial duels.
It's such a mad difference between last season and this season's Souček as well, because when we had Rice doing so much, he got lost, and I hated him last season. I was like, get him out the fucking club. Yeah. And then we come to this season
forward, but then he didn't need to when he had Paqueta in there.
That's what he's got the freedom now to do what he wants to do a bit more, and he's back to the old Souček, and I'm in love with him again. Yeah. Potato salad for the win. Right. Do you want to explain my CDMs?
I think we should do them together because
I've kind of got
explaining them.
I've gone for Rice because my God, he's been fucking unreal, and it's the greatest thing to ever touch my club. And he left. And the other CDM I've gone for is the man to replace him, the El Macho Alvarez.
Alvarez, yeah.
Because I think
Alvarez.
If you watch West Ham play, it's been crucial because that's such a big loss for us, isn't it?
Huge loss.
And I was very
scared.
You know
what? That's actually a really good shout. And we've filled the role. Have
you heard us like that much difference really from the season before? No, because of Alvarez and more.
I think we've actually been better this season.
We've been better this season because Souček's more free
in the league, definitely.
Yeah.
Wow. Listen. I back Alvarez being solid, and I understand why you put him in there. Obviously, there's a bit of there. And I get that, and I agree that Declan Rice deserves to be there. Mm-hmm. But not putting Rodri as one of your 2 CDMs.
I know.
Rodri has been probably the best player in the league. He
is
important player. As soon as Rodri isn't in that City team, they fall apart. Rodri is consistently, but there is nothing in his game that he isn't good at.
But the reason why you put Rodri in is the same reason why Alvarez is in, because for the team it's so important.
But Rodri is better. Significantly better. Rodri, I would say right now is the best CDM in the world.
I would agree, yeah.
And I don't even think it's that close.
And I was going to put Rodri in, but I just wanted Alvarez to get a mention because no one's mentioned it yet, and he literally filled in for 120 million.
And I get that. I'd
be happy with Rodri.
I've gone with Rodri and Rice because all of those players have been fantastic, including Alvarez as well, and multiple other players that could have been mentioned.
I do think
Rodri's elite. Yeah.
I just think Rodri and Rice have both just controlled their teams.
That's an elite pivot right there.
Yeah, it's mad.
They're both so capable. If either of them goes forward, I'd feel confident in both of them sitting back. If either of them are going forward, I feel confident in them taking the ball forward. They can both score. They can both pass. They're both.
A couple seasons ago,
Elite.
Rice,
I
when
know,
we were like,
yeah.
he's
Centre
world
back
class,
and
everyone was
stuff,
like,
yeah.
shut up, he just plays for
Yeah.
West Ham.
I'm so upset that we didn't buy him then because
I want
we wanted
apologies
him for a
from
while
every
because
single
he was in
fan
our
base.
youth team, and I just
I want apologies from every single fan base.
I went for Rice, and I knew somebody would say Rodri, so I didn't go for Rodri.
This
But in my head, it is Rodri.
It is Rodri.
But I haven't put a Villa player in here yet. For me, a Villa player has to be in here somewhere. So I
Valid.
put Douglas Luiz.
I 100% agree with that. If anything, I'd put that over Rodri right now.
If it's not Rice or Rodri, it's Douglas Luiz for me because he's been.
Do you know why?
So-
do you know why-
I think Douglas Luiz is my third.
Do you know why
I agree with that.
Do you know why I put Douglas Luiz just above Rodri just for this team? Is I feel like Villa needs representation.
They do. I
This
think
season,
that's why I put
Villa
them in.
need a representation.
That's why I put them in, and I'd be tempted to put Rodri in there for one of the cams, potentially.
Yeah, I'd be happy, but then it's just
because
weird.
he's just elite. But then I don't know.
Then you've got 3 CDMs, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Rice
that.
and Douglas Luiz can be a bit like 2 8s. Douglas Luiz can definitely be an 8. Rice can definitely be an 8.
Yeah, but it's with the amount of attacking talent, like it just.
I want
Yeah, I
Douglas
don't
Luiz and Rice personally. That would be my vote, just because I feel like Rodri. No, there's no denying what Rodri is. The greatest CDM in the Prem. So if we're talking about team of the season so far for what they've done, Douglas Luiz.
And every time Rodri's been on the pitch, he's controlled it.
Yeah.
Of course, he's the best CDM
I mean,
in the world.
De Bruyne putting in the masterclass he did there. You know who got man of the match? Rodri.
If you got De Bruyne on your team, though, we've just had this chat. And
De Bruyne's been injured for most of the season. I don't think he's
no,
played
but
enough
do you
games.
see what I'm saying? Like, where sometimes a player is that big,
But
is-
if De Bruyne had played enough games, yes, absolutely, he'd be in my team.
Yeah.
Right?
But I just don't know. I feel like we need Villa representation, otherwise we're just a
I
big
agree.
six
I agree.
matchup.
Look, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Also, we have got Trippier at right back.
Big six,
who's like
he's one of the
12.
he's at the fucking richest club in the world right now.
Still not a big six, though, is
I
it?
know,
But I just. I get what you're saying, and I think Rice has been so important to Arsenal and has solidified them so much. It's been fantastic. And I agree, Douglas Luiz has been fantastic, and I agree that Aston Villa deserves some representation. I
you can't do it.
I wanted to
do
put
it
Douglas
if you want
Luiz in there because of how good he is, but I can't
You
see
do get
a
that.
Premier League team of the season so far this season without Rodri in it.
Okay,
It feels
let me
wrong.
frame it a different way then. Because Rodri's missed so many games this season due to injury, City are now in the position they are. So far this season, Rodri due to injuries has cost City lots of points. Douglas Luiz hasn't.
Rodri's played 17 matches.
I know, but he's missed.
Oh, well.
Everyone
He's missed 3 games.
Everyone he has missed has cost them dearly, has it not?
Does that not further back up the point that he deserves to be in
I'm
it though?
not saying he's a bad-
Because
I'm-
they've performed consistently with him in it.
I don't know.
I can forward. I don't mind because I like Rodri. I actually back Rodri.
I
in
like
it.
both. Rice is in there for us, but
Yeah, I think Rice.
I mean, we've all put Rice in our team, so we have to have
I'll-
Rice in there.
I'll-
But the thing is, for me, Rice was my second choice. Rodri was my first name on my team.
Rodri's so good.
He was the first name on my
We'll
team.
bang Rodri and poor Villa. I'm sorry.
I'm
Villa.
sorry, Villa, but
We'll put
Rodri's too
Rodri in,
good.
we'll
Yeah,
put
Rodri-
Rodri in.
Rodri's
I think Aston Villa's performance
I've
has
got another
been
Villa player
fantastic,
anyway.
but I think Aston Villa's performance has been largely down to Unai Emery, and there's been a lot of players contributing, and I think all of their players have been in a similar position where they've been top tier, but they've been just behind other players who've been good, and also their best players are in positions that have been the strongest in the league.
Yeah.
Evan Martinez in goal, Matty Cash at right back, Douglas Luiz at CDM, and obviously other players we'll bring up later on.
Right,
You know,
get into Cam then.
Let's do Cam, yeah. See, this is the one that I changed right before we started.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I
I
changed it
could
as
not
well.
decide for this one. I had, I think, 3 in mind for this one. Actually, no, I had all of them in mind because we had Madison, Palmer, Erdegaard, Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes, and Foden.
I do want to make clear I put Foden both as an attacking midfielder and as a right winger because he has played in both a lot this season.
Yeah.
With some of the players, obviously you can put the players anywhere you want realistically as long as it makes sense for them to play there. But I put him as an option for both specifically because he's played a good chunk of games both at right wing and at attacking midfield. So
I was torn between because yet again I was like looking at the team that I've made and I was like there is no City and I was like that's outrageous.
I did the exact same thing.
Yeah. So I was like
yeah.
Foden, Alvarez. I didn't know which one. if I'm honest. And I've gone for Alvarez just because I feel like filling in for De Bruyne, it's kind of been his job this season, and he's done well. He has done well, and that's an impossible job to do. So I feel like I want to give him a well done.
Good job. I did that, but I did a bit differently. I went for Bernardo Silva.
Oh, I
As much as I hate him,
I do respect
he's a
that.
prick.
He's unreal.
But he's one of those where, yeah, fair enough, you're really good, but just like, fuck off, you know.
I felt that about Man City in general, to be honest.
A little bit, but I just gone for Bernardo Silva.
Great goal against Newcastle.
Exactly. He's just
I do think Bernardo Silva is
So,
underrated as well.
I did already have a Man City player on my team, so I didn't have quite the same issue because I
Yeah.
had Rodri in my team. And I was very, very close with Bernardo Silva. I think if Maddison hadn't have got injured, he'd be a shoe-in here.
I agree.
Yeah.
Before Maddison got injured, he was
The best player.
miles ahead of all of these. I think that Bruno Fernandes is a mungy baby, but he's a quality player. I think Foden's been very good. Alvarez has been very good. Bernardo Silva is showing that he's class again. But I think my problem with putting any of them in was that while they were all fantastic, I think they've all been 8 out of 10.
So
because all of them have contributed so much.
before you say
you
who
know?
you put, you've got Palmer and Ødegaard. I'm gonna say you put Ødegaard in here.
He hasn't put Cole Palmer.
It's got
Cole Palmer.
It's got
I
Palmer.
had
It's-
Palmer in here
I'm
before I
sorry.
switched him.
Palmer.
The only
VAR.
the
I had Palmer in.
only shining light in a dreadful Chelsea
Yes.
team has been that Cole Palmer has come as a youngster from
Yeah.
City with a big price tag. And when we signed him, I said, why the fuck have we done that? We've
Yeah,
already got
see-
attackers. We needed a striker, or we needed a goalkeeper, or even a better
Why
fucking
did
centre
we
back.
do
I
not
was
like
not
City
familiar
sold
with
him?
his
Like,
game.
Yeah.
Why did City sell him was my question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
No,
I was
but
like, look,
Palmer-
he's a quality player and he's got a lot of potential. He's not going to start for us right now. He's not going to be as good. And then he's come in and gone, oh, I'm the best player in your team right now.
Yeah, no.
And he's been
he was
elite.
borderline starting for City.
he's been
we
elite.
He's
have-
pushing like miles
we have-
out the squad.
Yeah, we have three to.
We've got so we've got Cole Palmer, Alvarez, and Bernardo Silva.
I would
I'm
go
happy to
Bernardo
not-
Silva personally.
I was going to say I'm not happy to not put him in because I don't like him, but
I would personally, if I'm going out them, I
I
don't
would-
mind Palmer because I had him down, but the reason why I crossed him out was because I want to see more still. I think he's amazing,
Yeah.
but I know
Yeah,
he's got
yeah,
more.
yeah.
I know he's got
okay.
more.
I would argue though the only reason you haven't seen more is because of the
It's
players
just
around
so
him.
amazing.
You put a good striker in there, he's got another 5 assists
Yeah,
this
I
season.
agree, but still, I want to see more. I'm upset
wanna
he
see
left
more.
City because I thought he was. Some of
Yeah.
the goals he was scoring
Yeah,
at
yeah.
City and stuff was crazy.
He wanted to play games, right? And he wasn't going to play,
Yeah.
especially with Foden, Alvarez, and Bernardo
Yeah,
Silva,
yeah.
and De Bruyne coming back
But
from
I
injury.
do think Palmer has been great this season. I'm not
I think
going
the
to
quality of player Silva's up there. But
I think for me, out of those two, I would go Bernardo Silva. I think
Yeah.
he's been better this season.
Yeah.
Alvarez has been very, very good.
Alvarez
But
is more just because he's filling in.
I think Silva has been
Silva has been better.
has been better than Alvarez personally.
100%. Silva's also to how many seasons he's been
I just
doing
feel
it.
like if you also put Silva into the Chelsea lineup, he'd do the same, if not better.
He'd probably do better.
But it is Palmer's young, so it's like he's got that more pressure. You know what I mean? So it's
I don't agree simply on the account. I think when you compare Palmer and Bernardo Silva in terms of their game, Bernardo Silva is much more of a creative player.
Yeah.
Palmer takes a lot more on his own
I'm
chest.
tempted, but if
Palmer
if
taking
you
more on his own
replace
chest
your-
means it doesn't matter if
replace
Alvarez
Silva
plays
with
back.
Alvarez. If Alvarez goes in to do what Palmer did, Alvarez would do.
Alvarez
better.
would do better in Chelsea's team than Bernardo
Alvarez
Silva would.
would do better. Yeah.
But that's because of the play style.
Yeah.
I really want Cole Palmer in here, but
I don't mind
I'm-
Palmer going in, but I do think if we're doing it
I
based
did
solely,
have Palmer in already,
I did as well.
but I just think
I'm happy to concede to Bernardo
Yeah.
Silva. I think he kind of fell off a little bit last season, did Bernardo Silva, but
Yeah,
then he's
but-
come back in this season and
Yeah.
gone, no, I am
Who
still a
didn't a
world
lot
class player.
again for De Bruyne being gone,
Yeah.
Haaland
Yeah.
being gone.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Okay, right wing.
Salah.
I'll go through the list just because they're worth mentioning. Obviously, I had fun in there. Bukayo Saka has been fantastic. And this actually was a weaker position overall, I would say. Leon Bailey deserved a mention. He's been fantastic for Villa. And Hwang Hee-chan at Wolves has been incredible. He's got 10 goals, I think it is, this season.
At one point, Toma looked like he was going to be fucking flying as well, and then he just fell off.
But it's Salah.
It is Salah.
It's Salah.
It's
There's
Salah.
also
Saka has
Diaby.
fallen off a little bit this season. Yeah, Diaby's played at striker quite a bit.
Yeah.
Actually, they've
I
played
just
a
don't
weird
think you
formation.
can't. You
can't not put Salah.
You take
But
Salah at Liverpool.
Salah
Liverpool are
is-
genuinely finished.
Salah is drawn top assists in the league. I'm pretty sure he's drawn top goals now as well with Haaland.
14 goals, 9 assists. Like
He's
One of his
minus
best seasons.
penalties is drawn with Bowen as well, so that's good.
Like, yeah, it's,
If Bowen's with Salah's replacement, I love that.
but yeah, I think as a right winger,
Sorry.
I think as a right winger, Salah's been
It's got to be.
above and beyond.
It's got to be, I think.
That's quite nice.
Yeah, all right.
Moving on.
Love a little agreement. Left wing, the names I put out: Doku, Garnacho. I put Heung-min Son here, but I put a little asterisk because I've also got him at striker. He has played striker more for Tottenham, obviously, but because of the fact that there are also like 8 other strikers who've been. Look, I wanted to put him as an option here because he has played left wing, can play left wing. Anthony Gordon and Luis Diaz.
I've put Bowen in because I can't not put Bowen in a squad of team of the season with the season that he's had this season. Like
I don't think about putting him left wing.
He's got the most consecutive away goals now joint in history and stuff like that from this season, and he scores for fun. We don't have a striker. He's a winger and he scores for us.
So I do want to point out Bowen has also played striker for you the same as Heung-min Son has. He's been your striker quite a lot.
He's played left.
I actually put him in the striker list, but I'm also happy with him being as a left wing option. Because obviously he can also play there.
That's the only thing I could do.
I would be up for putting Bowen in on left wing, but I just think Son, being captain of Spurs, spearheading that attack, he's done really well.
Yeah,
and he's got the numbers, but it's Bowen's kind of up against it. You know what I mean?
It's the only thing that makes me an argument for Bowen is if you take penalties away, he's joint top goal scorer in the league.
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
And he can create as much as Son.
And you're in 6th, so it's not even like he's done really well, but he's the only one.
It's some players are still scoring as well.
Yeah.
Kudus, I'm upset he's not.
I'm so upset with Kudus because we were this close to signing.
Yeah, and he's the real deal. Kudus is the real deal.
Yeah,
he's elite. He's too good for us.
Yeah, he should be at fucking Chelsea. Anyway,
who did you play in left wing?
So I had some difficulty with this because I think Anthony Gordon's had a good season. I think Garnacho was overrated. I think Doku started well but fell off a little bit. And Luis Diaz was making up the numbers.
Yes, he's not been that good this season.
He's been good, but more so he's been better than most of the left wingers.
Yeah.
I was stuck between Heung-min Son and Jared Bowen here.
Yeah.
I would like to use this as an opportunity to transition into the striker options as well. The names I put down were obviously Erling Haaland, Jared Bowen, Ollie Watkins, Dominic Solanke, Heung-min Son, Darwin Núñez, Alvarez, and Isak. Darwin Núñez has to be on there because he scored the goals, but obviously he's missed a lot of chances. And there's lots to talk about with these strikers. The reason I wanted to transition straight into them is because, regardless of which way around I put them, I put Heung-min Son and Jared Bowen in my team.
Oh, did you?
Yes. The way I had it in my
actual
lineup, I had Bowen at left wing and Son at striker.
Well, I'm happy with that, if I'm honest. I put Watkins up top. Just because
I think worth discussing with the strikers, obviously Erling Haaland drawn top goal scorer, even with missing like 5 games, he's got a goal a game. He's also second on chances missed though.
But this is
I will add behind
Darwin.
Ollie Watkins has been elite. He's also drawn top assists. Is Ollie Watkins, and second on total goal contributions. I think he's been phenomenal. Definitely deserves a shout. Dominic Solanke, absolutely outperforming expectations. He's been fantastic. Alvarez has been more of a cam. He's actually got 10 goals and been spearheading Newcastle where they've struggled. The problem is, I think it feels wrong not putting Haaland in this because he is still, without a doubt, the best striker in the Premier League.
But then you've already said.
But this season, he's underperformed his expectations, and compared to the way that Heung-min Son has carried Tottenham's attack and the way that Jared Bowen has played for you, I couldn't put him in ahead of them. But Ollie Watkins deserved a shout.
I think I could put Ollie Watkins ahead of either of them based solely on the assists and the goal contributions that he's done for his team, and just the improvement that he's made in one season. Is outrageous, and it basically comes down to the game they played against us because he ripped us a new one, and it scared the shit out of me. I was like, who the fuck is Ollie Watkins?
Ollie Watkins has been elite, and honestly, I would put him in ahead of Haaland based on the season he's had. The problem is, I don't know if I put him in ahead of Son or Bowen.
I'm happy with Son and Bowen because Bowen's there.
Son and Bowen. I
throw
another name in the hat based on the fact that this is the position that he's been playing for Villa. Again. Unreal. this season.
He's been at left mid quite a lot.
He has been playing left mid. I don't think he gets in ahead of these two, but
I would like.
worth a mention.
I agree that he deserves a shout. Also worth mentioning, the best striker in the Premier League, of course, Armando Broja.
Oh.
Yeah. Mikel Antonio.
I can't even
big pick him.
I'm not sure we can say that.
No idea.
But yeah, I think. So what did you go with then? You went with
Watkins.
Did you go with Salah? So you went with Bowen and Watkins. You went with Bowen and Son.
I went Son, Bowen, Salah.
Nice. I also went Son, Bowen, Salah.
Okay, should we do that? I'm happy with that.
Son and Bowen then, yeah.
Beautiful.
So I do feel kind of bad not getting Ollie Watkins in there. I don't feel that bad for Haaland not being in there, even though he deserves it because he's a robot.
I feel bad for Villa.
I also feel bad for Villa. I think in every position that they were the strongest was the strongest in the league.
Yeah.
And there was always someone who outperformed them. As a team, they've outperformed most teams, but yeah, that's what I'd say. Right, so to go back over that, then the team we've come up with together is, I believe, Alisson in net, Trippier at right back, Van Dijk and Saliba at centre backs, Udogie at left back. Did we go with Rice and Rodri, or did we go with Rice and Douglas Luiz?
Rice and Rodri, I think.
Rice and Rodri at CDMs. We went with Bernardo Silva at attacking midfield, and then the front three of Salah, Bowen, and Son.
That's an unreal team.
That is kind of a crazy team.
With a bench of Trent, Palmer, Watkins,
Douglas Luiz.
Yeah, there were lots of players that deserved to be in there, hence why that ended up as such a long discussion.
Yeah.
But quite long. It needed to be.
So there is a small section we're going to try and include in these episodes coming up, but I think because of how long that was, we might be best skipping over it for this week, especially with us maybe struggling a little bit more to think of one. But we'll leave that spoiler free for now. We will move on to the last section of the podcast, which is, as it is with any football podcast, a quiz.
No.
We don't have
all knowledge.
We don't have a fancy producer behind the scenes who does quizzes for us, so I made this quiz. Send in your applications.
To what email? I don't put an email.
Just just send them to me in the post. For the time being, what we're going to try and do is, I think me and Devon are going to alternate between creating the quizzes, unless Chris or any other guests we get in feel like they want to make a quiz at any point. So the way that this is going to go is it is going to be me reading out the quiz to you two. So what I'm going to say for the sake of this bit, because I'm quizmaster, is I think me and you should swap places.
Okay.
So you two are on this.
Bear with.
All right, so we will do buzzers. I'm not gonna. If you get it wrong, I'll let you keep going until I try and give you clues if I can. Let's get some buzzer noises.
Oh. Of course, I have to.
All right, you're gonna have to do that every time then, just so you know.
Astra fucking Gugu.
What?
Astra fucking Gugu. That's my one. I got this. I'm telling you.
Right. So you've given a bit of a longer one, which might be a little bit more difficult.
Can I change mine?
Do you want to change yours? Go on then.
I don't know what to do it. So.
Well,
I'll just do mine. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yours is faster than Chris.
It is.
You're more likely
We shall see. Astra fucking Gugu.
I don't even know what that is, but.
Yeah, we couldn't score against them. There's a famous clip. You not seen that?
No.
He goes, he's like, we don't need a striker, do we, Davy Seven? We can score against Astra fucking Gugu. Yeah, it's amazing.
Astra fucking
Actually,
Gugu.
I'll change mine. Sorry.
All right. So if you're sat like that though, bear in mind.
Sorry.
We need you to.
Okay. Right. Should we just cut that
again? We're totally professional. We know exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
This isn't definitely filmed on a webcam on a box on a table. But we'll try and keep framing.
The budget side.
Best we can. So we have. Our buzzer noises, Devon versus Chris. All right. Question 1. You can buzz in at any time. But if you buzz in and say the wrong answer, the other person gets to answer before you do again. Okay? Once you've both answered, you can go again.
Just keep the score. You keep the score.
I will keep the score, yes. I will remember to keep the score. So, question 1. Who did Virgil van Dijk surprisingly name in a recent interview as his toughest opponent he's ever played against?
Oh, fuck. I know this as well.
Astra fucking Gugu.
You can't, come on.
De Bruyne.
Incorrect.
No, it wasn't De Bruyne. It was... Oh. Oh, it's some striker that play anymore. I swear.
I'm going to have to push you for time here.
I've got a hint.
4.
Diego Costa.
Incorrect. I will give you a hint. Although it wasn't Diego Costa, he has played for Chelsea.
That's just fucking Gugu. Oh, what's his name? Oh, actually.
That's,
I need thinking time.
Unfortunately, it's not what's his name.
Yeah, no.
Rather than
He has-
if
he
you
has
get it wrong,
played
it
for
has to be
Chelsea.
the other person. You can just buzz in at any time if you think you've got the correct answer.
Okay.
So he has played for Chelsea. Yes.
Oh, Hazard.
Ooh, incorrect.
That's fucking Gugu? Sterling?
Incorrect. He is a striker.
Astro fucking Gugu. Just saying it, I'm
no,
upset
no, it's
now.
not this guy, surely not. No, I'm not gonna say. I'm not even gonna say his name.
Brilliant.
Werner. It's not, is it?
We haven't buzzed. So.
That's a fun Gugu Werner.
No, it's
Shit.
not.
I was thinking.
I'm trying to think of your strikers. Yeah.
He used to play for Chelsea.
Oh, this is
You haven't had any
Recently,
fucking
though.
strikers.
Recently.
This is.
Oh,
Higuain.
Giroud.
Boys. It is Olivier Giroud. 1
I
point
knew
to
it
Devon.
was. I remember him saying it was just annoying.
He said he's annoying, he's big, he's
Yeah.
very physical, he's hard to deal with.
Yeah.
You've always got to be on top.
So is Higuain. To be
Oh, to be fair, Higuain.
Oh god,
It's more big
I
annoying,
often
to be fair.
forget we had Higuain, and I wish I could forget forever.
Got
He
beat
was so good at Napoli. He was
6-1
awful
versus
for us.
He probably forgot, to be fair.
Anyway, question 2:
Mm.
Who is the highest scoring defender in Premier League history?
That's Frangu. John Terry.
Incorrect.
Slag.
Slag it.
It's not.
High scoring defender.
Whoa.
That was a little bit.
It's got the same trim as me.
That was a little bit intense.
It's got the same trim as me, and he used to play for Everton, but I've forgotten his name.
What?
I am gonna go on.
Leighton Baines?
It is not Leighton Baines.
Sure.
I would like to point out, it is maybe a little bit iffy, but this is the official answer on the Premier League website. He has not always played in his career in defence.
That is such a cop out.
Yeah.
It is.
So like CDM
Can't
or
be
centre mid or
defending
something.
Give me a second to get the list back up again. I suppose because of that, I'll try and accept a second answer, but unless it's one of the ones you've already said, in which case no, I won't.
Nice.
But on the Premier League website, this is what is named as the highest scoring defender
Well,
in
mine's
Premier
gone
League
blank.
history.
Please.
Barry. I don't remember this. Jesus, coming to me.
Oh, James Milner.
I can't really accept a second answer.
I'm gonna say I literally can't think.
All right, need any more clues?
Yes.
He is still currently playing at the age of
38.
It might be.
Oh,
Hey.
Oh no!
Coleman. Ashley from Google Coleman.
Incorrect.
Ashley Young.
It is Ashley Young.
Oh,
Yes!
fuck.
He scored 49 goals across playing for both
He's not
Manchester
defending.
United and
Yes,
Everton.
he was a winger.
He did play in the wing, but he has spent
A
the
lot of time,
last
yeah.
10 years of his career as a
Because he's
defender.
slow as fuck.
But that is that I have.
It is a little bit of cop out, and second place is John Terry. But the Premier League officially answers it as Ashley Young, so I've got to take it. All right, question 3 is a career path. So I'm going to name the teams that he's played for in order. I'll do it slowly. You can buzz in at any time. Tell me who that player is.
Okay.
If there is more than one answer for this, I apologise. I don't think there is. But so started off at Ajax, then moved to Tottenham Hotspur.
Okay, that's
That's
not
from
expected.
Google. Bergwijn.
Incorrect.
Oh, that was a shout, you know.
Didn't he come from Feyenoord though?
Oh,
Went
he might
to
have
Ajax.
They went Ajax afterwards. Yeah, he did.
PSV.
My bad.
He then went from Tottenham to Inter Milan.
Huh? Who is this?
Oh, I think I might know. I might know. Guys, this has been the whole segment
Hesitate
for
for the
me,
next
hasn't
one.
it?
I feel like this might be where it gives it away.
In Milan.
He then went from Inter Milan to Brentford.
Huh? Oh my god. Christian Eriksen.
Christian Eriksen is correct.
Oh! Fuck.
Yes! Oh,
That was so obvious from far away, and then when you're in it, you're like,
to
what?
Brentford.
I was like,
I forget he played for Inter Milan.
Yeah.
from Brentford.
All right. Question 4.
3-0
In
down.
2005, the best team in the world, Chelsea, claimed the record of the least goals conceded in a 38-game Premier League season with 15.
That deflected.
But who has the record for the most goals conceded in a 38-game Premier League season? I am.
Derby?
It is Derby County, yes. They conceded 89 goals. I did specify the 38-game because technically in the second season, Swindon Town conceded more, but it was a 42-game season. So
Is it 22 teams?
Fuck, Swindon.
22?
It was 22. Alright, it's 3-1 to Devon,
Oh,
but they come back on. Question 5. Who scored the fastest Premier League goal in history, taking only 7 seconds?
Shane Long.
It is Shane Long. Got in with that fast. It's 4-1 to Devon. Alright.
I was thinking Gundogan, but it's FA Cup.
Oh, yeah.
You might want to mount this comeback a bit faster because he's racing ahead here. We're still going to finish all the questions anyways because I've prepped them, but and you can still win.
I can still. Oh, it's my last chance.
Don't get all the rest of them, I think.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Question number 6.
Let's take that John Terry back.
Which player has scored the most penalties in the Premier League this season?
From Gugu. Oh, this season. Oh, that's not where I thought it was gonna go.
You've buzzed in now.
Saka.
Incorrect.
Palmer.
It is Cole Palmer.
Mate, I know Premier League history. It's Mark Noble.
Is it Mark Noble?
I think so.
I don't know. I don't have that stat.
Mark Noble's high up there as well.
All right. Well, you can
draw.
Play for fun.
I can play
no,
for fun.
No. But you can play for fun.
Yeah.
You can play for
participation.
Pride. You can play for pride.
It's taking part that counts.
100%.
Question number 7. Which team has the most yellow cards this season?
It's from Gugu Tottenham.
Correct.
Liverpool.
Incorrect.
I've only had dirty teams this season. West Ham.
Arsenal.
Incorrect.
Crystal Palace.
Incorrect.
Luton. My
Sheffield United.
What?
Sheffield United.
Incorrect.
Fucking Wolves.
Incorrect.
Oh, Joe, I bet it is. I think United.
Incorrect.
Chelsea. It's Chelsea.
We've had 66 yellow cards this season. Yeah.
That's 3 a game. Which I guess isn't that bad when you look at it that way, but
3 every game.
3 every game.
All right.
You gotta be good at something, I guess.
Question.
Valence.
Yeah. So now it's just you can reach.
Yeah, no, I'm finished.
It's not. It's been a good performance from Devon. It's not been the best from you.
No, it hasn't.
Question 8.
Hey, the John Terry one got me there. That's finished.
Yeah, to be fair, and you jumped in quite early.
I mean, hey, if you want, I can give you the point for that. You
no, I'm all right. Yeah, no, I'll still be. It's only a consolation at that point, isn't it?
Question 8. 2 players in Premier League history have scored penalties with both feet. Can you name either of them? I will say this is a bit more of a difficult.
What was the question again?
Thierry Henry?
Incorrect. Also, what was that?
I don't know. It's a questionable, man.
Is it weird that I'm going to say Mark Noble again?
Well, you haven't buzzed.
Ask fucking Gugu. Mark Noble.
No.
Takes a lot of
points.
points.
If you say him for every answer, eventually he'll be correct.
Exactly. This season, did you say?
No.
Oh.
All time.
All time.
2 players have scored. Only 2 players have ever scored in the Premier League. Penalties.
People need to start using their weak foot a bit more, just for that.
Yeah.
To get rid of that stat. It's an annoying ass stat.
There is only 2 of them. I'll take a correct answer for either of them.
Cantona.
Van Nistelrooy.
Okay, they are both players you will have heard of, but they are not top tier players like that. One of them, I'll just I'll name one club from each that is probably the most recognisable one for them. Maybe one of them played for QPR. One of them played for Newcastle.
Correct.
Correct.
Half us.
Dempsey.
Incorrect.
What was this? QPR and
who was the guy?
Newcastle.
Joey Barton. No.
Newcastle and QPR.
No, not one guy has played for both. One of the answers played for QPR.
Papa Cisse.
Incorrect.
Demba Ba.
Think older.
Anita. Vernon Anita.
Oh, fucking.
Check Chiote.
Alan Shearer.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ, what's going on?
They're both more Shrieks will remember players.
Andy
than they
Cole.
are,
No, but who was that guy? Is it Trezeguet?
Oh, Trezeguet. Fuck.
also incorrect. But
What's his fucking name?
The guy with the mic?
Now I'm thinking the bold striker for QPR.
we're thinking along the right lines then. He also the one that played for QPR also played for Bristol Rovers, Brighton, and
Fulham,
I believe.
Washed.
I know him. I can picture his face, but I can't think of his name.
I did not call him.
It's like Konchesky or something. I don't know.
The other one, I don't know what other teams he
Probably
played
way
for,
off with that.
but the other one played for Inter Milan,
Oh.
Wolfsburg, Rubin Kazan, Birmingham, Levante, Seattle Sounders.
What, Newcastle?
Is that your
The Newcastle one is Nigerian. The
one is Nigerian.
Yep, the QPR one is
English?
English.
I literally know him.
Yeah, you're closer to getting this than I am. I'm finished right now.
Picture his face.
You're welcome.
My granddad's a QPR fan. I should know this. Yeah.
This is going on quite a while now.
Sorry, granddad.
I can't.
No.
I'm done.
The Newcastle one, the Nigerian, Obafemi Martins.
Obafemi Martins.
What an icon.
This is the one I really care about because I had
And
him.
the QPR one, Bobby Zamora. I told you knew both of those players.
I did. Bobby Zamora.
Alright, final
Zamora.
question. Question 9. Which team has been relegated from the Premier League the most amount of times?
Norwich.
It's Norwich. 6 times they've been relegated.
Fucking hell, really?
I mean, at least they keep getting promoted, I guess.
Oh, that's
that is the end of the quiz. So that is that in a very closely contested match. Devon wins 7-1.
Oh,
shit,
that was close.
Brazil, Germany. Sorry.
And a nice close match between the two of them. So that's the quiz for this week.
Boom. Love that.
Hopefully
Easy
it was decent enough
Hmm?
for you.
Well, for my quiz, you better do
It's
better.
yours next week, yeah.
This is why I should do the quizzes.
You feel free to come in with the quiz yourself next week.
You're free.
But yeah.
Oh, hey, what's going on here?
I wanted to shut my mouth. I'm sorry. I don't know
I
why.
didn't expect that.
I'm sorry. I just felt alright.
And with
alright.
that, and with that, I think that is.
I think we should leave it there.
Better place to leave it than anything else.
Yeah.
ADHD
Thank you for watching or listening or whatever you've done. Please follow us on any of the socials that you can, anywhere that we've posted this, wherever you listen to your podcast, wherever you watch them. Hopefully we'll get some social medias in the comments, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hopefully you enjoyed, and
Hopefully we didn't talk too much.
we definitely talked too much.
We definitely talked too
much.
much. Yeah. But like about. Anyway, bye.